and hard stop.
That's not how it goes, Ray. That's not how that song goes.
I beg to differ.
All right, whatever.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to Saturday. Dude, I feel like we're 375, maybe 400 pounds lighter on the show.
Wow,
I'm just like something's missing, man. Like,
really?
I'm
That's
just
what you're
saying.
gonna do to him?
I'm just saying, man.
He's not even here to defend himself.
I know. Hold on, let's see if we can get someone to sub in for him. Tell us, Jason, how do you feel? I understand.
Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna start early. Welcome to Vagabond Nerds. As you guys can probably tell, and if not, that's on us. But dude, already? Like, share, okay? Share, man. I got it. Anyway, we are Light 1 Vagabond. Jason is actually out at the Bigfoot convention that is in Jefferson, Texas. Texan. It's actually in a Texan.
Well, it's something
yeah.
Jason and his family started a long time ago, about 60 years ago, when they moved first to this area and the first sightings began. They figured, you know what? Why don't we just turn this whole family reunion into, a festival for all to come and enjoy?
He did. So it went. Mm-hmm. It started as that, like you said, the family reunion, and it became the annual Bigfoot sighting convention. But he's up there. I'm sure he's pouring himself out for his book, which he should be.
He should be.
Like
Cheers, brother. Good luck. Hope you do well. Yep.
Can't believe you're drinking that early, but that's just me. But so we're hoping that if you are in Jefferson City in Texas, go pay them a visit. They will be out there all day until his family comes back home.
Go check him out. Seriously,
go check him out. Yeah. And next week the 31st? No, 2 weeks from now, 31st, he will be signing books live at our sponsored.
He's going to be
at Titan Comics. Go out there, check out Titan Comics. They are off of.
That's Halloween. So are we gonna?
That is Halloween.
So we're not having a show that day then. If he's going to be gone,
we're not going to have a show that day. We're going to skip it. But he will be at 3128 Forest Lane, Suite 250, Dallas, Texas. Again, Titan Comics. Go pay Titan and Jeremy a visit. I am not going to go into the useless words that Jason will spew to talk about the many, many items that are there at that comic book store. It is what it is.
Various accoutrements, as it would be.
Thank you, McLean. I appreciate that.
Hey, he's here in spirit, man.
He is here in spirit. And I know he's here in spirit. I've got his spirit.
He's got his spirit right there. His spirit doll.
Morning, Don. As you've just heard by now, that's where Jason's at. We killed him and ate his body with a nice bottle of key. No. He is in Jefferson City. So
it's good to know his jokes are still here.
Ouch! I shouldn't have the spirit. Godzilla is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to talk about today? There's just random stuff all over the place. There's a lot of little bitty things that don't add up to one big story. I guess they could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could. I don't know. I figured we'd be true to our name in the Vagabond style and just kind of jump all over the place.
Be all over it, huh?
I'll start with what probably most people don't really give a shit about. But the Ghost of Tsushima released that new update the other day.
I beg to differ. A lot of people give a shit about that. Some people even give two shits.
Let me rephrase. I don't think many people who are watching us for video game news, but I could be wrong about that. Been known to happen a lot, so I'm probably wrong about that.
More than a little bit?
For those, more than a little bit, sometimes, whatever. For those who care, right? The new update was released, I think it was yesterday, if not yesterday, the day before. And it adds the Legends expansion, which is free to anybody who already owned the game. I don't know how that works for purchasing. I really don't know how that goes. But adds co-op. So now you can join your friends online as long as you got, PlayStation Plus, which I think is pretty much the majority of anybody who plays on PlayStation. But yeah, now you can join up with your other friends and go demon hunting. There's this whole realm that you jump into. It's all kind of like this weird red, shadowy overcast. There's new armor. There's new weapons. Well, I don't know about weapons, but it definitely says armor and gear to chase.
A Japanese styled Ghostbusters is exactly what we need.
I think that's a fair. Yeah, I think that's a fair version. That's good.
And we've been talking about it.
That would be a comic to do, huh?
I'm just saying.
No, like Ghostbusters, feudal Japan.
Yes.
Could you imagine that?
I got to say what Don just said though. Jason is a hairless Sasquatch.
Hairless Sasquatch.
Just on his head. He has the hair everywhere else.
It did what the rest of his family did and migrated south.
That's right. Neck below, it's pure Sasquatch, baby.
Oh, it's full on Robin Williams down there.
Yeah. So. No, I don't think so. That's probably too soon. Is that too soon? That's a joke. That's probably too soon.
No, you're right. It's definitely not Robin Williams anymore. Yeah. He's much thicker than Robin Williams is at this point.
I cannot wait to play the new version for Ghost. The name like Ghost, man, Ghost of Tsushima, you gotta have some kind of spirit fighting, right?
And I mean, they had the one battle near the beginning on one of the legendary ones where you fought the demon, which was just such an amazing thing. I can't wait to see more of it. But yeah, I'm very happy the way this game is progressing with their releases going forward. When the game launched already, it was phenomenal. The options of changing into black and white mode, the Kurosawa-esque, feeling like you're actually in an old school 1960s, 1950s, samurai flip film.
So I loved it, but it did make gameplay a little bit harder when you had that.
Yeah, agreed.
Just because there's a lot of stuff that relies on color and being able to see certain functions. As I have individuals, Robert, drinks tonight.
Drinks now,
man.
Drinks now.
But that mode where you're back into an early Kurosawa film is just it's beautiful to look at. It is.
It's stunning. It's to your point, gameplay very difficult, but visually it's amazing. Yeah, there's so many cool visual aspects to this game. They did a great job really making it just aesthetically pleasing and stunning. It's really, really fantastic.
I love it. I think probably my only beef is some of the mechanics with the occasionally you get glitched into a fence or a cliff, like I think all games do.
That's really odd. I haven't had that happen to me at all.
That is my only issue. I've been glitched into a mountain before.
Ray, I think you're doing something wrong. Because no offense, I've played that game.
You just push the buttons, right?
A whole lot longer than I think at this point, longer than you have. I've played probably more hours than you have. Let's put it that way, because I know we both bought it like day of. But I've definitely put more hours into it, and I haven't been glitched into a tree, a fence, a cliff, nothing. Not once. So
I have, and it wasn't. But one of my favorite all-time games, Red Dead 2. I've glitched that as well. So I mean, it's
that's a Rockstar thing. Rockstar Engine and I don't know engine. That's not the right word for it. But their games, all of the platform, whatever the GTA style games, they're set up. I mean, that's part of the fun was glitching into stupid areas you weren't supposed to be into, or getting stuck somewhere, or getting a horse to run into a train. I mean, just random things like that.
Run into a train, pull a train, whatever.
No. What part of the game are you? I don't want that expansion.
Nay.
Nope. Nay. See, Jason's jokes are here in spirit.
I know Jason's jokes are here. My God.
Anyway, that and the customizable loadouts, which I messed around with this morning. You're going to enjoy that a lot because it used to be each one of your armor sets, and there's a ton of them, right? There's a buttload of armor sets. Each armor set you had to select both your headband, your face mask, and the armor piece each time you wanted to put them on. Now you go in, you select one, and every time you equip that armor, it always loops those other two pieces. Not to mention, when you go to select that armor, you can customize the charms to each armor piece. So when you switch armor, all of a sudden your charms switch to fit that armor piece now too. So I
Huh,
mean, dude, it's pretty freaking
pretty,
cool.
pretty cool.
I'm gonna find myself using a lot more armor sets now that they've added that. Which a few pieces of this game did feel unfinished, and so I'll bet you money these were some of those unfinished pieces that they planned on. Okay, you know what? The game itself is good enough to get by. People will suffer this
Mhm.
until they had the time to fix it, or I guess until they could programming wise fix it. Um, so yeah, I'm not surprised they're adding this. I am very happy it's finally coming around. And you know, my complaint is let me delete duplicates of charms. I
Yeah.
have I had triplets of a triplicate of a lot of these
Yeah.
things, and I don't know if they stack. I don't think the benefits do. So I don't know. I've never tested it. I can't. I haven't tested it. I have no clue. There's no damage numbers. There's just you don't know what number. You just know its percentages more or less. Um, and there's just nothing to really see other than that little tiny bar over people's heads.
Yeah, it's going up over there.
Yeah.
But I like it though, man. It's
Hmm.
I can't wait. I know I've told you the moment that they did this, which now I got to go and update my game, but that
Hmm.
we should do a couple of rounds. Um, or maybe I'll let the my daughter get on there since she seems to be just killing it no matter where she's at. Um, she loves that game. Probably
Yeah.
too old for her, but I'm the cool dad. Um,
Too old is it's that's subjection subjective
it is because it's
subjective.
not really nothing's really more or less anything worse than what a PG-13 type
E-
game would be. A
exactly, it's a
teens
teen.
game.
I would say it's teen. The amount of violence and blood and gore that we see on a daily basis on just like nightly TV,
Yeah,
it's no worse than that. So
that reminds me. Don't forget to vote.
don't forget.
That's probably a bad joke.
Again, good to know
Jason's here in
Jason's
spirit.
still around. Yep, that's good.
Um, but that does lead into, since we're going to talk video games for a little bit, that does lead
Mhm.
into PS5. So we're hearing rumors now, and a lot of people are starting to announce that the peripherals for the system, so extra controllers, remotes, the headset,
Mm.
whatever else they're doing,
Mhm.
charging stations, those are actually starting to pop up now.
Mhm.
And PlayStation did already say that, hey, we're going to start shipping remotes. You should start seeing them in stores around October 30th. So that's a whole 2 weeks before. I've got mine on pre-order, so I don't really,
Yeah,
it's
you're
not
not
going to
worried
make a
about it.
difference one way or the other. But at the same time, I'm like, man, that's easier. That's either the dumbest move ever by Sony because you have individuals who are going to be looking for the PlayStation, not the add-ons, or
Right.
it's the smartest move by Sony because they are, saying, "Hey, we know that these controllers are now $75, or
Mm.
$70, whatever that case may be, 75 after tax.
What's
So
that
we're
up
going to get you
from? Is that up from 50? Is that what the current?
up from. It's about anywhere between $10 to $20 higher than what the normal
Yeah,
PS4 controller is.
that's what I was thinking. Okay.
So maybe they're giving everyone a chance to kind of start building on that, and instead of paying bulk right when the PlayStation 5 comes out, they're allowing them to kind of gear up for it and save up for it. Or it's the ballsiest move that they've ever done because they're saying, ha ha ha, we're going to sell you this, you're going to get it, but good luck finding the console when it comes out.
That's
So I don't like it's a horrible thing to sit there and say. I
it's
hope it's not that, but what a way to make extra cash by not guaranteeing the console itself
you know
unless you have it pre-ordered.
I I want to say it's a very I don't know. It's a very Japanese marketing thing to do. To release some like they know they're not going to have all of the units. They're not going to have the amount of units available that people want to purchase. So they've thought, okay, but we do have an overabundance of controllers that we can release. Let's put those out there now so people
Is
can
it,
go ahead and get them.
but is it not a dick
Um,
move?
no, it's not.
Let's put these
It
controllers out there for a system we can't promise will be available on day one or even during the Christmas holidays.
I'll say it to you this way: it's a dick move depending on your nationality, because that's a national view. That's
Hmm.
depending on your country, you could look at that and go, F you, man, I want the freaking system. And it's just like, the Japanese don't think that's not their culture. Okay, so the only
Please
reason I'm
tell us.
the
Please tell
only
us
reason
about
I
the
know,
culture,
please tell
white
us the
man.
culture of Japanese. The only reason I'm saying this is because I just watched the Toys That Made Us. I watched their
Mhm.
episode on Hello Kitty. And when you go into, when they dive into the marketing strategy behind the Hello Kitty thing, first of all, very fascinating. Um, but also, I mean, I've seen the same kind of strategy go in the Transformers toys, the Gundam toys, the stuff that came from them that we appropriated as Americans into Transformers and GI Joe and all those other things, right? And a lot of what they do is they don't focus so much on the big main item as they do on some of these accessories. And a lot of what they do is they flood the market, or what I've seen on the show is them flooding these markets with um, the accessories to the main item because they know the main item is in high demand and harder to find. Therefore, it gets the people the taste of, okay, I've got this. I know I'm going to need it. I can use it later, But that's what they've done in a lot of their releases on
There-
toys and other things in the past. So,
Therefore, it's a douche move.
in a certain Yeah,
It's
you might feel that way. I don't care though. But then again, I'm not the one purchasing a PS5 right away. I mean, that's, you're doing
I'm
that,
doing
and
that.
but but you've got nothing to complain about. So why do you want to speak up for anybody else who may be
Because this is the
maybe
first.
upset about it?
This is the first system I have ever pre-ordered.
That's
I
true.
didn't. I did not get the PS4 until 2 years after it came out. I
Yeah.
did the same with the PS3. The last system that I got that was considered the
You
next
got the
big thing in
Switch,
hot
didn't you?
was not when it came out though.
Oh, okay. I
Not
didn't
when
know.
it.
I didn't
Yeah.
know.
No.
Gotcha.
No. No.
Yeah.
We got. I got it for the kids during the holiday push. And while it was around there, that's what I started looking for was for the Switch. But
Hmm.
I think with the PS5, I think this is more than saying it's bad, it's good. I just think at the end of the day, it's a ballsy move to sit there and throw those, peripherals out and go, you may buy this. We almost promise, kind of, sort of, that you may actually get it. Which one is
I
it? Well, we
I, I
don't know.
think I think it's a good way for them to start getting some income, which they're going to need, because they need that money to continue moving along. I personally, I'm not getting one right away, but I have no problem with it. Understand. I don't really understand why somebody's going to be upset about it, because it's like, look, you already can't get this. You already can't get the system, and I get that, but you're going to need the controller. So just buy the controller, because you might not actually. That's not true.
Listen
Let
to
me rephrase.
yourself,
Let me rephrase. I'm the type of person who has two controllers,
of
even
course.
if I might not be playing with another person or having another person over
Of
playing in the
course.
same room as me. Because if one controller breaks or if it runs out of juice, I want to have another one there, because you know me, I typically have like one single long play session on a week.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean
You,
that play session's like 12 hours. So it's a full on sit down, play
we need
games.
to get you on Twitch just for that reason.
No, I don't.
Go
No,
ahead. Go ahead. So finish
I
your
don't need
story.
anybody watch. I don't need anybody
No.
watching me play video games.
How many times did
Um,
you die? Like in the past 5 minutes? No, go ahead.
so I see no problem stocking up for the future or getting ready for that thing. But I do recognize the fact that other people are going to be upset about it. I don't really understand it. I can recognize it, but I don't understand it, because I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Again, you're not going to be able to buy the system right now because they don't have enough of the systems to go around. So if you want to buy something and something's just burning a hole in your pocket, because we all know how much we love to spend money on useless shit around the holidays.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah, right. Go out, go out and spend the money on a controller. You're gonna need one. Go out and spend the money on a charger. You're gonna need one. Just get it. Like, if you can't wait to buy something, go do it. Otherwise, exercise some effing self control. Have a beer and keep playing your PS4.
I mean, I'll, yeah, I don't even know if I could sit there and say, hey, I'd be honest, I wouldn't get this, if I didn't have kids. No, I think I'd still get it. That was,
Well, it's nice to have a moat. You know,
well,
when you got moat money, I mean,
what are you gonna do when you don't have moat money? That's the
I don't
question.
know. I don't know. If you don't
You don't
have
want
moat
to.
money,
But no,
you know,
I mean, I think it's good. But I do. I just think it's a douche move by Sony, man. let's
It's
let's
not
get
a douche
let's get
move.
you some extra stuff that you
It's not a douche move,
you may
dude.
or may not have the actual
You're o-
PlayStation for
you're
another
you're
6 months.
overreacting. Well, it's
Another
not a douche.
6 months, man. But speaking of useless stuff that you can buy
Well,
when you just have a moat money coming out your ass there, um, new rumors popped up, but this time directly from Sega that a mini Dreamcast is coming.
hello, Tokyo Drift.
What are the games you want to see outside of Tokyo Drift on
I
a mini Dreamcast?
honestly, that I mean, so okay. Well, I forget which Soul Calibur it was that came out, but Soul Calibur on Dreamcast came out.
Hmm.
I think maybe the first iteration of it came out when Dreamcast launched. But no, seriously, mainly the one I want to play it's either Tokyo Drift or Tokyo Racer. For the life of me, I cannot remember which one it is. Um, but it was that, man, we played that game so much. Um, it was just, I don't know. It was just Tokyo Extreme Racer. That's what it was. Tokyo Extreme Racer. Man, we played that forever. I don't know. I just that and was it
Sounds like.
Star Fox? Didn't they release Star Fox on that game on Sega on Dreamcast as well, or like an iteration of
I
it?
think
I don't
there was an
remember.
iteration of it, but I don't think it was. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a
I
really
mean,
long
I really
time.
couldn't
Oh,
remember. But
GoldenEye. Didn't they put
that's
GoldenEye, or
60.
is that
That's
only that's
64.
64? That's
That was
only
64.
64. I thought they had
Um,
it on that too. Maybe I'm
but you
wrong.
did
No,
have
they wouldn't have because it was Nintendo.
you did have Soul Calibur though.
Yeah, yeah. So Soul Calibur.
You know, I think you had was one of the was it GTA 3? I think.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. Maybe could be. I
Uh,
just
the,
yeah.
I can tell you the main one I would want to see: Crazy Taxi.
I
Loved
forgot
that
about
game.
that game. Oh my
I love
god.
that game. I would love to see that.
That game was nuts. Yeah, that was fun. It was
Um,
fun and stupid. That was enjoyable.
I also wouldn't mind one of the 2K series to pop on there, whatever sports
Hmm.
they had on there, because to me, 2K, um, despite what they've become now, which I've got a litany of issues with NBA
Ooh,
2K1.
you got a bone to
Um,
pick, eh?
I do. We actually talked a bit about it with ANX, or I was able
Hmm.
to, and we all agree that 2K1 it better be something completely special on the PS5 because the
Hmm.
PS4 for NBA was just piss poor. Mechanics were all over the place, and I know I'm not the only one to feel that or anything else like that. But the other one I would want to see would be House of the Dead 2.
Ooh, yeah, that
That would
was a
be a
good
good
one.
one.
That would be a good one
Um,
to throw on there. Yeah, I could get behind that.
there's they've got some stuff that they could do with it, and as we saw with the mini um, Sega Classic, I, they were not afraid to put some big names up there on their system, just like Nintendo did. Unfortunately, like PS did not do, unless you, uh, I don't know, found your way online, maybe got a couple of little, memory sticks with additional game content to make it that way. Um,
Memory sticks with additional content.
but it's yeah, I love my PS1 classic. It plays a lot of classics. But it's just stuff like that, man. Like I love the Dreamcast Mini, and I'm old enough to sit there and say that when I got my first Dreamcast Mini, it was actually a wedding gift from a really good friend. So here it was genius. So it was,
That's great. That's great.
plateware open, fancy forks open, oh, stuff for the house open. What the hell is this big one doing? And I open it, and I realize on the outside who it's from, and it's Tanner, if you're listening, then I know you're not, but it's probably one of the greatest gifts I got. I open it up, and it's just he's like, dude, I know. I think he even put like a little note in there said, I know everyone's giving her everything, and you're not getting crap. Here's something for you. And as soon as I open it, man, it's this Dreamcast, and I'm like, yes,
Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's
um,
awesome.
the Dreamcast led to. We didn't quite get the cops called on us, but we were loud enough that night that we were definitely told to quiet it down in the apartment that we were at. So lots of fond memories of the Dreamcast and the early editions of NBA 2K for sure.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, that see, I never actually got to own one. It was always my friend Josh who had one, so we'd be over at his house just keeping his parents up late at night. They'd always come out of the room and would you well, expletive deleted, right? Would you kids quiet down, you little I mean, his dad was hilarious, and Josh had no respect for his dad, and I mean, but almost in a funny way because he knew his dad wasn't going to actually do anything bluster. But he just gets so. I mean, he was like Hank Hill angry, right? Red in the face, about to.
How would that sound?
I can't. No, I can't. No,
How would that sound, Sean?
No, I can't do that right now. But he was such a good guy. He was such a nice guy too, and that was the thing, was he was always so nice, and then Josh would just, we would piss him off, and Josh was like, yeah, don't worry about it, it's fine. And it was just so disrespectful. Like, I was like, dude, are you sure? Like, your dad's pretty pissed. And he goes, no, dude, it's cool. He's never gonna do anything. We were just like, all right, and he'd just be like, all right, Dad, shut up, go back in your room, like talk to him like that. It was so crazy.
Yeah, it's that youth bug, man. It's that nostalgia bug that hopefully we will Don, I hope so.
Gotta eat them all.
Gotta eat them all.
Poking yum.
I'm just sitting there thinking what you could capture. I choose you, waffles. I don't know. Anyway, but it was complete nostalgia, and I'm at a point where I'm actually the only mini system I'm missing. And yes, I know this sounds like moat money, but the only mini system I'm missing, which I should have on order next week from eBay, unfortunately, is the TurboGrafx 16. But there's something about these small little game things that I just love collecting them, and I don't know if I'll do the Sega Game Gear. They are releasing those, and so when the original Sega Game Gear came out, it's probably about this big, right? It definitely was bigger than the Game Boy, but it's part of the mini push, and it only comes with like 3 games, and it's like 6 different versions of the Game Gear, and they are smaller or about the same size as the memory card or memory game system that had for the Dreamcast. So the Dreamcast, the controller was about this big, and it had that little mini looking Game Boy.
That card you could slide into it, yeah.
Which acted as the memory stick as well.
Right, right.
The Game Gear Mini Classics that are about to hit the stores are about the same size, maybe a bit smaller.
That seems like a pain in the ass to try to play,
doesn't it?
Like, no offense, but I don't know. There are people who will collect them just because they're tiny.
I couldn't do that. I feel that's what the ex-wife and the girlfriends that I had probably did with me. They just collected me because it was tiny. But look, it's so cute.
Witness.
Shut up. But it's definitely brisket of
Bulbasaur.
But there were little things like that.
Ray's not familiar with the Bulbasaur, Donald. He doesn't know what that's all about.
What about the Bulbas?
He's definitely got a Pikachu.
Yeah, it is electrifying. You would know.
It's electrifying. All right, Chivolta, move on.
Yeah, that's what it was. So I would love to have a mini Dreamcast put up there with all the other ones, and and then I would say the next mini system I would love to see is actually the Nintendo 64, or not the Nintendo 64, but the GameCube itself. I would love to see a mini version of that.
Yeah, GameCube, I'd like to see a mini version of that as well.
That one you're going to have a lot more of a hard time with, just because a lot of the games that were big on that were all licensed properties. So IP.
Well, the ones that I'm only worried about seeing at this point on the GameCube are Rogue Squadron, which would obviously come back. I think it would come back to the GameCube. I don't think there'd be any problem with that, because they were, to your point, licensed, but they were, it was synonymous. Like, you knew you were going to get, minis. What was it like? Or sorry, like Mickey's Haunted Castle or whatever it was. There was the Mickey game. like Disney and Nintendo really collaborated a lot on that machine, and since Disney now owns Star Wars, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't get together and release those games again.
I would hope
Um,
so.
but yeah, Rogue Squadron definitely top of the list, and not far behind would be the Mortal Kombat release that came out on that one.
Yeah,
That was when they first started getting into the big 3D arena where you
which
could
I
knock
loved.
people through the
Hmm.
floors and change perspective, and I mean that was the basic that we've evolved now into these Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11 or whatever it is now, where it's just a staple. I mean, that's just the way the fighting
Yeah,
goes.
it's
Um,
getting harder and harder to remember a time when they didn't have those features. Um,
right? It's
but
interesting.
I still love playing classic Mortal Kombat. I still love going Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, man, where you're just,
Right.
stick. Uh,
Yeah, that's goofy shit, man.
pretty much, man, pretty
Yeah.
much. Let's get into
Also,
movies.
is there?
Or do
Did you want us to talk about anything about the Spider-Man 5 pieces while we're still on video games, or did you want to move on to something
I,
else?
I'll tell you what. So Spider-Man, Miles Morales coming up. That's a big thing.
It is.
I don't know if you've seen gameplay for it, but it looks
Mm-hmm.
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I, I can only say go and see it because I think we're going to have a whole new gaming experience. For those of us
Wow,
who
that's
paid,
fairly significant
yeah.
considering the previous one was a lot of people said a whole new gaming experience. So,
Um, I just feel it will be. I think because of the graphics and everything else that you're seeing, plus it's Morales, so
so
you have
do you think
additional power or
do
powers.
you powers? Yeah. Do you think that's then more a the fact that you're going to have a new experience is more in attributed to the fact that we're doing it on a PS5, or do you think it's the game itself?
No, it's the PS5. I mean,
Okay.
the jump in graphics uh, is enough that they actually had to replace the character actor from the Spider-Man
hmm
game
hmm
with a new actor because they had to get everything redone and repixelated for it.
Did they do that as a result of that, or did they just try to make the character look more like
I don't know. I know where
from
you're
the
gonna go with
movie?
that. You mean
You
more
know what
like
I'm saying?
You mean more like Tom
Yeah,
Holland?
Tom
No,
Holland, because he really does
he does.
he
The new
looks way
guy.
more like Tom Holland than the older actor did who did the capture for that one.
I can honestly say though, even if that was the case, it still looks infinitely better, man. It's different. So
Mm.
for those people who are getting a PS5 and got the Ultimate Edition for Spider-Man Miles Morales, I think they're going to get a whole new feel and gameplay of the Spider-Man game that was released a
hmm
couple years ago. Uh, and they've even said that they've amped it up a little bit. So we're looking at a whole new experience. The only bad thing about that is yeah, we're going to have it on disc, but the Spider-Man game, if you didn't have it prior, and you're getting the Ultimate Edition for Miles Morales, it's actually going to be a digital download for the Spider-Man game, which is only going to eat up about 128 gigs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, it's gonna be insane. Oh, dude, there's plenty of games, Don. You can play as the villain. Oh, what's
Including DC Lego villains, which
any look
I
any
gotta be
Grand
honest, is fun.
yeah, any Grand Theft Auto, you're the villain.
Yeah.
I mean, like just typically, you're usually the villain, because that's just. I mean, maybe you're not the ultimate bad guy, but you're a bad guy. You're not playing as a good guy. But then you can go into Kane's Legacy, which is definitely older. We're talking
Mhm.
PS2, maybe PS1, where you play as a vampire and you're killing folks. And there's a lot of other ones. What's the name of the?
Friday the 13th, they have a one where you're
Yes,
playing as
yeah,
Jason.
yeah. You can do the same thing
Um,
with Predator
yep,
for the other Predator game, where you can play as the Predator and hunt and stalk the rest of the
yep.
mercenaries or whatever you want to call them. I'm trying to remember this one though. There's a I cannot remember the name of the company. It's not CD Project Red, but it's something. It's called like Hellraiser, or I don't remember the name of that publisher. Um, they mostly do little 2D platformers like Metroid, where you run through a scrolling type of screen and you do stuff. But you play as definitely some villains in those games. And they're jacked up. They're so crazy. They're insane. There's just ridiculous amounts of blood and gore, and it's all supposed to be completely stupid, crazy, over the top, hyperbole type of a video game. But yeah, there's plenty of games out there you can definitely play as the villains.
Yeah, for sure. But since we're kind of wrapping up on Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3 starts filming, I think, at the end of this year, or maybe even it's already started filming, or November is when it starts filming. What we know for sure is we're going to see Doctor Strange. We're going to see Electro again, as played by Jamie Foxx. And then every rumor known to man hit the ceiling, hit the fan, whatever you want to call it. We're getting all 3 Spider-Men that have ever been. So it's Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Sony finally came out this week and said no. And then right after they said no, rumors still popped up. No, they're bluffing. They want it to be a surprise for the 3rd act of the movie. They want it to be this and just kind of, intertwine into a Spider-Verse, which then leads into Doctor Strange's movie, whatever the case is. So the more and more I've been thinking about it, the more and more that it's coming out, the more I just don't want to see it. I don't like the fact. I don't like the fact that we need this many Spider-Men. I don't mind there being a Spider-Verse movie. I would love to see a Spider-Verse movie, but I don't want to see it. I want to see it in addition to instead of having, Tom Holland Spider-Man overcrowded with anyone else. I mean, we've the first one, you had Tony in it. The second one was a real strong. It wasn't, obviously it couldn't be Tony because Tony was dead, but you did have a lot of his supporting characters in there. I don't want to see a drive on other Spider-Men or multiple villains cascading into this movie. What I want to see is a single villain and him on the run. I think that makes a very interesting movie, and you don't have to have it, just absolutely cluttered with all this extra baggage for all intents and purposes.
Well, but didn't they say they're looking at doing the Sinister Six for this film? I mean, isn't that the theory, the goal that they're gonna?
There's a rumor out there saying that this is to start the Sinister Six, which I'm fine with. Like, I would love to see Spider-Man fighting the Sinister Six, but what made that really kind of great in its own right was the fact that it wasn't Spider-Man getting too much more help. It was still just Spider-Man getting his ass beat, by 6 villains, and him figuring out how to take them apart, how to. It made him get more creative in how he fought every one of them, but it wasn't anything that was to be undone. I mean, we even have rumor of now that Venom will appear at the end too, and we do know at one point or another with how Sony's contract is
with Tom Hardy as
with Tom Hardy
as Venom.
Venom.
Right? Yeah.
And we know that's going to happen. Like that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's going to cross over. And you've got Morbius already, which we should have been doing a review on back in the summer before COVID if it hadn't hit. So we know that they're building up to it. We know that you've got Morbius is complete. We know that Venom 2 is complete. We just haven't seen them, much like Black Widow or Wonder Woman or anything else was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
Everything's been pushed back into the next year, which I want to get into as well. But
we will, definitely.
For sure, I don't know what it is, but it always seems that there is a Spider-Man movie where there's too much going on, whether it was Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire's run, whether it was Amazing Spider-Man 2. What kind of a great movie would it be just to have him going up against someone who's hunting him? I'm not saying Kraven the Hunter. I'm just saying anyone.
Right.
Because he's on the run. He's on the run. Strip him of everything. Make it a completely Peter Parker thing. And I think that's an interesting movie too, with only one protagonist, one antagonist, and go. And then if you do bring in a Doctor Strange, it's an end credit scene or a whatever. It's an extra scene, a stinger at the end of the credits, whatever.
But not actually Stinger.
Yeah. And not actually. Here, shut up. But nothing that would actually impact the movie more than what it has already impacted. Whether or not they do that or not, I don't know. I hope they do, but I
You look,
I
you've
feel
got
it's
a
going to be crowded.
you've got a valid point and a valid worry. To exactly what you said, we have seen at least one crowded Spider-Man film in the previous two
Hmm.
trilogies so far, and Spider-Man 3 alone in the first trilogy, just I was so frustrated with that movie because there was so much opportunity for it to be good with the villains that they
Uh-huh.
had without having to make every single villain in that movie. But Sam Raimi just, well, not him actually necessarily. I would say, once again, Sony, a bit of their push and a bit of their influence. I think the stories differ. Sometimes people say it was Raimi's idea, other people say it was Sony's idea, and I think it was a combination of both. But I do think that the producers definitely have a heavier hand to play in that than possibly Raimi did. Um, Anywho, like but with that being said, to play the contrarian here, I do see an opportunity for a group of possibly less interesting villains, right? If these villains can't, maybe there's these villains that can't stand on their own. And if these villains are not as well fleshed out or not as well and not as intriguing as
Hmm.
other standalone villains might be, getting a group together like this and having them chase him, this is actually the perfect kind of setup with him being ousted by what was the name of the guy? Was it Jonah Jameson?
Hmm.
What was his name? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Being ousted like that publicly and having the name, to say who he is and the fact that he did all these horrible things, and they spin it that way because Mysterio is dead and he puts it out there. But this is the perfect setup to have the team of villains come in as heroes and go after
Hmm.
Spider-Man. You know,
And if it was done that way, and who knows if it is or not, because we're talking about a
yeah,
movie that hasn't even started filming just yet.
true. We
Um,
don't. I mean, is there a script together? Do we even
yeah,
know if
no,
there
there's
is one?
scripts there.
Scripts there.
Um, but I think like every script, man, it'll be changing.
It'll be
Um,
changed as it goes.
I,
Yeah, of course.
I hope that's what it is. I doubt that's what it is. I'll be honest about that. Who knows, man? Who knows? I just don't want to see that many people in this movie. And you keep reading about, oh, Doctor Strange is being brought on as a new mentor for Spider-Man. Can Parker just be his own person?
I'd love to see Parker just be his own person. I'm
You
with you
know,
there.
like just do that. But I
Along with you there, sir.
don't know if that'll happen. We'll see. I mean, it's kind
Uh,
of one of those things.
I think. I mean, you called it. These last two films, the first film was full on Tony mentoring him.
Mhm.
The second film, he's learning to be himself. He's learning to be his own, but he's got Tony's ghost in the
He's got
form of those.
Happy in there.
Well, no, but in the form of the
Oh, yep.
glasses, right? He's got Tony's ghost, um, voiced by Jennifer Connelly. Um, so he's got Tony's. She's in
Yep.
there basically. And that's a leftover from him. You got Happy, and oddly enough, Mysterio.
Yeah.
Like
It's still it's,
Mysterio is
it's
still a
still
mentor to
it's
him.
still a Stark product.
Stark-esque. Yes, he's
Yep.
he's a product of Stark, and he's got Stark-like qualities in the
Mhm.
way that he's a genius. And I mean, he's still a crazy genius, but he's a genius in his own right. And he's teaching him a little bit. He's telling him things for a nefarious purpose, and he's manipulating him in such a way.
None of us would ever do that here.
But the things that he tells him aren't fundamentally evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he still
Yep.
says good things to him, and so you still had that mentor aspect. I would definitely like to see a film, and I hope I hope the fact that he's on the run, if they're gonna do it that way, um, lends itself more to him being his own self, right? Him being his own character, and less of this extra help from other folks. Or if he does, just one person, you know, and hopefully not till near the end when he really needs that help to
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
get over
and
whatever's going on.
and the other thing is they think that you bring in someone like Strange to do the uh, world say worldwide hated, but it was definitely fan hated storyline from Spider-Man, which was One More Day, which is you see in the comic book where Spider-Man makes a deal with uh, Mephisto, the devil, basically.
Mephisto. Yeah.
And uh, in exchange for Aunt May, he redoes his secret identity and everything else. I don't want to
So
see that
like
storyline
a
either.
that's like a no offense, but that's Flashpoint.
Well, with the exception of the fact that he didn't go back in and do it.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, but to be fair with that, they did it first. They did do it
Did
first.
they?
Yes, they did.
I did not know that. Ooh, that's a good one.
We gotta go drinking. Anyway,
sorry. Yeah. So on our trip, I had to go pick up some beer from this place, Thirsty Planet. It's a place that I played some. Well, me and the Baracho boys played music at a long time ago, down around the Austin area. A little independent brewery. We were coming back from that thing, and my wife, the best woman in the world. Hey, did you see they have Thirsty Planet beer here? I was like, really? So I had to go get.
There you go, man. There you go.
But yeah.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, sorry, derailing for.
No, man. Beer talk's more important.
derailing
but no. So anyway, that's what we're looking at potentially, and I don't want this movie overcrowded. I don't want them to make the same mistake.
Please, please, Marvel, yeah. Sony and Marvel, please don't overcrowd this film.
Speaking of movies that are not in theaters yet, what is going on with the theaters, man? We got Regal Cinemas shutting down completely, permanently.
Wow, really?
In the United States. I had thought and I had heard that it was just going to be temporarily until the movies start coming back, but now they're sitting there saying that this is a permanent move by Regal. AMC has come out and said that we are out of cash by the end of the year because everyone assumed that you were going to have them open back up by now and you could start making some cash back. And just the other day, you had the Russo brothers and Zack Snyder leading a charge to ask Congress to bail out the movie theaters because of how bad this has gotten.
You know what? I'd rather see that bailout than.
Right. What do you think? I mean, conventional wisdom and having come from an industry, both of us, that we know what bailouts mean. We know what bailouts mean. I've never been a fan of the bailout. I've always been and hold on, let me finish it. I've never been a fan of the bailout because I always thought let your companies fall. But obviously we have, for those of you guys who like financial industry stuff or anything else like that, you now have massive corporations who would be considered too big to fail, because if those corporations fail, you spiral down a economy path that basically leads to a greater depression than the Great Depression. I don't think movie theaters are necessarily in that category, but I do think they need the help. I would be one of the first people to be like, you know what? Yeah, let's bail them out. Because it's an escape. It's an escape for a lot of people. Or does the industry change? Do you see more things like drive-ins, which again I'm a fan for, or I love what Cinemark is doing, which I think is what AMC is going to end up doing eventually. Where Cinemark right now is they know they're having trouble, but you know what you can do? You can rent out a whole theater for $49 Monday through Thursday, and watch a movie with your family. $49.
That's pretty freaking cool, dude. I'd pay $49 just for me and the wife to go see a film if it was no one else in the theater.
Exactly.
That's
because
amazing.
It's not that much different or much more than a Friday night.
Well, yeah, exactly. For you, like, you don't have to go anywhere. You've got your own theater and serve popcorn and all that stuff. So I mean, but for common folk, it's really, it's very, very nice to be able to have that type of an option. Now, does it bring in the type of scratch that they really need to probably keep going?
No.
Of course not. Is it a really cool thing to be able to offer folks to bring them into the theater right now? Definitely.
They're doing Tenet. you could watch Tenet to a theater that you've rented out. Now Tenet's a little bit more. Tenet's going to be around, I think $99 is what I saw.
Don, are you going to put in a bid, or are you going to, if you put in a bid, let us know if that's what's happening. we'll we'll open up Vagabond Nerds
I'll tell you.
Brews and Movies, or
Yeah,
something like that.
bruising movies, bruising. I can't say the other one.
I can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something.
The way that reads Don is that Arkansas is up for sale, which I always knew it would be. No.
Come on, man.
Fine.
Come on, man.
But
we went to Hot Springs Lake Hamilton, which is just outside of Hot Springs, not too long ago. And it was, oh man, what a great vacation.
There you go.
What a great vacation.
But no, I'm all for that. And here it is. AMC is going to start trying to do the same thing like Cinemark does. But AMC is going to start around $99. And to me, that is a actual product of we're struggling, we cannot go lower. Or if they're talking across the board $99, no matter what time of day, because I will say that about Cinemark. Cinemark has tiered and structured pricing for through the week and then on the weekend. So,
Sorry, man.
I read it too.
I don't. Yeah, that's great. As a recovering Catholic, that touches me, sir. I appreciate that.
But certainly we are seeing that shift. I would do it. They'll allow up to 20 people in the theater if you rent it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, you and me and Jason, we could rent out a theater and still not have but a fraction of that theater filled.
Agreed. Bringing in family, one or two friends, if that's the case, we could easily do that and not really have a close, But yeah, I think $100 for a group to rent out a theater, I honestly think that's acceptable. If you're going to go pay,
sure.
If you're going to rent out a theater for $100 to go have a group of folks watch a film and keep that movie theater afloat for that reason, that makes perfect sense to me. I'm really surprised that you tell me that they can do it for, what did you say, $40 or $49?
$49 Monday through Thursday.
Half the cost Monday through Thursday. That's incredible. I didn't know that was a thing. I really didn't know this was a thing. So I'm very surprised. I would pay that money to go see Tenet in theaters. I would pay that money to go see Dune in theaters. I would do
absolutely, which is yet another victim of pushed back. There is rumor that Warner Brothers is not. I could not see them doing this. There is the rumor out there that if they look to push back Wonder Woman one more time, it's not going to be pushed back. It's going to streaming. Disney, one of their main investor that holds a ton of stock, has requested that they release Black Widow through streaming.
They need their cash, man. They need their money.
Well, Disney themselves have come out and said that their main focus right now is now the streaming avenue, because while they are making movies, they don't know if that's going to be the way to go. And quite frankly, I think it might be streaming is the way to go. And if that is the case, I think you do see more theaters pop up as a rent-a-joint, if you will, where you see a drive. You see a drive of drive-in movies popping up. Around the country.
I would love to see more readily available drive-in theaters. I definitely think that folks will. I mean, more people out of safety concerns will go see that. Now, the other thing is, though, how do you think this all changes once we have, a vaccine for this, like the flu? Once you can go get your flu shot and you can get your COVID shot, or it's all wrapped into one. What do you think that climate looks like? What do you think that looks like for us?
I think we're going to be adjusted. I think you're talking about a period of 24 months, maybe even 36 months down the road, and the theaters aren't going to be able to survive that. No, a lot of people aren't going to be able to survive that. Unless it loosens up. Let's be honest. Unless everyone wants to sit there and say, okay, lockdown complete, we're just going to take it as it is. You're going to continue to see this downward trend on certain forms of entertainment, and whether it's bars or whether it's theaters or maybe even museums. Hell, even zoos are trying to figure out how to let people in and still keep with how everything's done. So you're gonna see a lot of differences, I think.
Yeah.
Or, and I don't mean this jokingly, or suddenly everything's okay on November 4th. So
what's I would say, well, I mean, we don't discuss politics just because
yeah,
it's too inflammatory, and there's too many people who can't discuss it calmly,
yeah.
and we don't want to we don't want to offend anyone, so we do our best not to discuss that type of thing. But
Plus, we would never get Jason to shut up.
we'd never get Jason to shut up. But I
Hey,
will.
really quick, Sean, really quick. Don,
Uh-huh.
the Last Starfighter sequel will happen.
Well, they're having the actual sequel for that.
They are still in contact about that. They are still talking about how to bring it. I think another 5 years we'll see something pop up.
But I mean, okay, hold on. This is one of those things that that frustrate me a little bit, and we'll actually get to Ray. Can we go a little bit longer, or do
We
we
can
have the
go.
hard stop?
We
We can
can
go
go
a
a
little
little
bit,
bit
right?
longer.
Okay.
Go a little bit longer.
So let me. That brings up something. Moving away from the craziness that is the COVID-19 environment. The Last Starfighter, the sequel.
You don't want to talk politics? I think we should talk politics in honor of Jason.
All right, let's talk politics in honor of Jason. I can't even do it.
man.
I can't even do it. All I want out of politics is honest to God news with no political slant one way or the other. That's all I want. I don't even care about politics. I just want news with no political slant one way or another. That's all I want. All right, politics
and that
over.
is it. That is it for us doing
That is
politics.
it for us doing politics. All right,
Ever.
so Last Starfighter. I'm first off the original movie. Such a great movie, such a great film. I wouldn't say influential growing up for me, but
It could be
still,
though.
no, I just said for me, right? So not, but still one that I remember watching growing up, and one that does touch me, not in that we're on the doll way, but in a heartstrings kind of way, right? You watch it and you go, I remember. Not on the Godzilla. Show me on the
Point to the
Godzilla
Godzilla where
where
it
it
touched you.
touched you. Right, right in the feels, man. Right in the feels.
I got you.
So, but I am really, really nervous about any type of sequels or even remakes they do where it's something that I feel I have a lot of emotion invested in. Much like, as recently mentioned, the Dexter revival on Showtime.
Yeah. I've seen it both ways on uh the entertainment hubs. Some people are in love with this idea. Other people are like, why? And then there's that third batch that were like, well, maybe it'll make up for the finale. So
Do you know what? And that's exactly my point. The finale of that show was such a letdown. Um, I wouldn't say, because I wouldn't say it was Sopranos, because even Sopranos was better. The end, even though, I mean, the Sopranos end, you had no idea really what happened, because it could have gone this way, it could have gone that way, and the writers, the directors, they're never going to say which way it went. They just go, no, it is what it is. It ended that way, and you could decide for yourself. But with Dexter, just to you know, oh, and I remembered her name all of a sudden. That show started going south when Julia Stiles, when at the season after her character, the season after her, it started just this serious decline. And I mean, they brought her back for a bit because they realized how good of a series, how good of a season her season was. The season with Tom Hanks's kid was really good. Edward James Olmos and Tom Hanks's kid. I forget his first name, but whatever, Hanks Jr.
Bob Hanks.
It's
not
not
that.
Bob. It's not Bob Hanks, you
Bob
jackass.
Hanks.
Okay, so Bob Hanks and Edward James Olmos, right? That season was good too. So that was one of the good ones. But yeah, it's just Don. We actually have had a 2-hour show.
We used to have an hour and a half show, and it was just too much.
Well, we did both actually. We did
Yeah.
hours and a half, and we've done a couple of 2
Mhm.
hours, but it's just too much. No one wants to see this for that long. Nobody wants to see this for that long. But anyways, getting back to Dexter, I don't
Jason's
see.
spirit is with us because I'm saying bad jokes, and you're taking forever to get to a point.
True. I don't see the reason behind having this revival other than to go, we got nothing else to do. Why don't we just make this movie? It's like, come up with a new idea, do something original. I'm not happy with the way it ended, but it did end, and I was thankful it was over.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think.
I don't see the reason behind this.
And it's. It is the current state of the entertainment industry where it's hard pressed to find new items to come up with. I do
True.
like the fact that most streaming platforms that do original shows cap it at 8 to 10 episodes, and in some rare cases, 12 episodes. But one of the things I love about like The Boys is I would not want to see that past 8 episodes. Give me the 8 episode stuff because of the type of stuff that they're dealing with.
So I haven't finished.
Doggone it, I love it.
I'm just watching this latest season yet because we did not watch it every Friday when they came out. So I mean, we haven't done that yet. But to your point, that has been Texas
Chainsaw Massacre, Donald.
It really does. It really does allow them to focus more on a story and a consistent story versus too many filler episodes. Jessica Jones and Point. Had they dropped Jessica Jones down to 8 episodes instead of the 12 they did, it would have been a fuller series. It would have felt more, not poignant, but more like.
I might have stuck with it.
It would have felt more. You would have been more sated at the end of each one of the episodes versus going another episode where she's complaining about Purple Man the whole time and about how he hurt her, and it's like, yeah, I get it, it's tragic, but you've already done this exact same episode the last 2 episodes in a row. Like, settle down. I said in a row. I mean, yes, they did multiples where they did that, but I said in a row, so that's a very specific thing I said there.
In a row, 37.
In a row, yeah. Hey, don't you get it? On the way to the parking lot. You get back here. I still liked Jessica Jones, even though I know you did not. I still enjoyed it. I think it could have been shorter. And I don't want to devalue the amount of trauma that her character experienced, but I think, I don't know, maybe so many people just don't understand that type of trauma that they felt they had to drag it out that long to show folks what it really felt like. Me, I think that kind of shit is abhorrent and horrible. And I mean, I get it, right? I got it in the first time they explained it.
Yeah, I don't think I have to go in there.
You didn't have to continue to drag it out for me to say, yeah, I get it. It's awful. But
I'll take a show that I do like and that I loved, and I'll say Daredevil. There were
a few episodes of that.
Each season probably could have cut down on 2 to 3 episodes.
2, easy.
Season 2.
10 episodes. No.
Yep.
Just each season.
10 episodes. Yeah.
Could have cut out 2 full episodes every single time.
The same thing with the Punisher. You could have cut out 2.
Yep.
Argument could be made for Iron Fist. You could have cut out 6 each season.
And I disagree there. I really liked all of those.
And an argument could be made for Jessica Jones where you could have cut out 8 and still been okay.
You could have cut out 8. 8 episodes, 4. So you're having a 4-part miniseries is what you're telling me.
And I would have loved that.
You're off your rocker, dude. You're completely off your rocker.
But I think we really do need to move to that level of let's tell the story. Let's have a beginning, middle, and end.
8 to 10 episodes a season, hour-long episodes. If you're going to do half hour, then I get it. You're going to go to 20. That's fine, right? You're going to go between 18 and 20, 22, something like that. Sure, whatever. 16, 22, 20. Okay. But when you're doing an hour, 8 to 10. I mean, that's all you need. Half it. So I see no problem to do with doing that. It's just, But I don't want to see more rehashed stuff. I mean, some of it, yeah, maybe I
Asking too
do.
much.
I know. I like. Yes, we could probably sit down and put together a list of films we want to see remade. We've done episodes of
We've done
that
that before.
before, where we're like, hey, let's redo this, let's redo that. Um,
Looking at
Oddly
you,
enough,
Highlander.
looking at you, Highland. Oh man, what a great opportunity, right?
Uh-huh.
To get the actual source, well, not source material, but put together a coherent narrative.
It's just an easy trilogy to make. An easy.
Super easy trilogy, and you don't,
Oh my gosh.
and he should not fight Kurgan
Until
in
the third
until
movie.
the
And
third one.
I'm telling you right
Yes,
now,
yes.
it goes movie one, point of view from the Highlander. Movie
Movie
two, point
two,
of view
point of
from
view
the
from the
Kurgan.
Kurgan.
Movie
Movie
three, all
three,
about the There Must Be
Clash.
One. Yep.
That's right, all about the Clash.
Call us Hollywood. We've got an entire script ready to go.
It's ready to go,
Um,
man.
so
Anyways, no more revivals. I'm not happy they're doing this thing with Dexter. I really think they need to stop doing that. I'm still really excited to see Dune. I don't care. Dune is one of those ones that we know needed. It didn't need it because that original is still so good. Even though it's so flawed and it's so dated, it's still like he
it's
did
still
such
good.
a good job. He did such a good job of that.
And that was a oh my gosh, I can't remember his name now. The guy who played the main character. Um, Blacklist.
Kyle McLaughlin.
Was that
McLaughlin.
him? That wasn't
McLaughlin.
Blacklist. Am I
No,
thinking of
not
the right one?
Blacklist. James Spader.
Sorry, I'm thinking Stargate, not Dune.
Stargate, not Dune.
Sorry.
Same sort of
Either
atmosphere
way,
though.
though,
Lots of
either way,
sand. Ugh,
um,
all this sand. Yeah.
it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, all right. So I think we're going to wrap up there, Don. We're not going into 2 hours today. I'm surprised we actually went an hour and 7 minutes here, an
10
hour and
minutes,
10.
8 minutes. We've done this
Yeah,
before. It's not
yeah.
that bad. But we should also though keep an eye on the Michael B. Jordan production of Static Shock for DC.
I think I want to bring that up when Jason is back. Now that I'm thinking about it, because there's a lot that we could say about that universe.
Maybe we'll have news by then in a month.
Yeah.
Or we can
Right
get together
now,
and put that and put something on paper.
right now, we only know that Michael B. Jordan is really trying to get this the Icon universe off the ground, starting with Static Shock. I, for one, am behind that.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to see it. Little unknown. I say unknown, but it's really not to those of us who are in the industry. But
It's
just a
not
little corner,
mainstream.
yeah, a little corner of
It's
the
not
DC
mainstream.
universe.
Yeah, yeah. It's
You
not.
know.
It's not your mainstream piece. People know it. It did have a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
You know it. It's just not one that you're wholly familiar with.
Yeah,
So
for sure. So with that being said, I think we're going to wrap up. Once more, if you're in Jefferson City, our very own Sasquatch, Jason McLean, is out there promoting his new book.
on family history. Mm-hmm.
On family history and his family reunion. He's out there signing, not giving away, but he's got the books with him. Ask him not just for an autograph, but ask him for a drawing. He does some
Please.
great artwork, which does fill the book. Once again, a special thanks to Titan Comics, our sponsor. You can catch them on TitanComics.com. Or live and in person off of Forest Lane. That's 3128 Forest Lane.
Thank you, Jeremy, for putting up with us.
I don't know why you keep putting up with us, man, but I think it's because I go and I drop in a couple $100 a month or something to that effect. But no, we do appreciate it, and it is the best damn comic book store in the DFW area. I will stand by that comment whenever that is brought up. He himself will tell you that it's all one community. It is, but that is where I would start that community. So thank you to everyone. We are going to be back probably not in 2 weeks. We're going to be back in about a month.
In about in a month, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that is because Jason will be signing one more time the new book at Titan on October 31st. I don't know if he'll be there all day. I think he's going to be, but until then,
we'll show up in costume, wearing a mask. It's the perfect time of year to do it.
Absolutely. Mask. Wear your mask. It's not for you. It's for other people. If you don't believe in it, that's fine. If you do believe in it, even better. Not here to intrude on your personal belief. I just want to keep people safe.
Not about fear. It's just about respect of others.
Yep.
That's it. That's all
All
it
right,
is.
guys. Take care. Feel great. Feel better. Go get a drink, or don't follow
Or keep
Sean
drinking.
because he's already been drinking. But that's it. We will see you next time.